Ahoy folks, Lord Splendid here, and I have finally been released from Davy Jones's footlocker. Today we are going to be looking at some of the most famous or infamous pirates ever to sail upon the seven seas. So without further ado, set your sails, you scurvy sea dogs! Coming in at the top of our list at number 5, we have Calcio Jack Rackham. Now this guy will please all you feminists out there. Calcio Jack did little to warrant his place in pirate lore. A meagerly successful pirate, he focused most on his activity on capturing small fishing vessels and commercial ships. During a brief attempt to retirement in 1719, Rackham met and fell in love with the now infamous Anne Bonny, who would join him on his future adventures disguised as a man to conceal her identity. Later, when Rackham's crew captured a Dutch merchant vessel, they unknowingly took another disguised woman, Mary Read, on board. Bonny and Read proved to be excellent pirates, and it is their success that made Jack Rackham famous. So ill-suited to be captain was Rackham that when the ship and crew were finally captured, he was too drunk to even put up a fight.
But why is the rum gone?
And only Anne and Mary defended the ship and crew. Typical pirate. Coming in at number 4, we have Edward England. Edward England came into a life of piracy after he was captured by a ship of swashbucklers and forced to join the crew. After a brief stint in the Caribbean, he worked his way up the pirate ladder until he had gained command of his own vessel, which he used to sail the Indian Ocean raiding slave ships. But England is really remembered solely for the design of his flag, a skull over 2 crossed thigh bones, which went on to become the famous Jolly Roger flag associated with all pirates. Therefore, England deservedly earns his place on our list. Coming in at number 3, we have Bartholomew Black Bart Roberts. Although he is by no means the most famous of pirates, Bartholomew Roberts was far and away the best at what he did. He plundered over 400 ships, a grand record for sure, and captained well-armoured ships in every endeavour. He died in a vigorous battle against British captain Chaloner Ogle. His death left many of his faithful followers and admirers reeling. Even the Royal Navy itself was stunned. His motto would be a merry life and a short one. When he was killed by a grape shot at the age of 39, the golden age of piracy symbolically drew to a close. At number 2, we have the infamous William Kidd. The legend of Captain Kidd, interestingly enough, really begins when it ends. Throughout his career, many of his counterparts and superiors had suspected that Kidd had gone beyond call of his letter of marque and dabbled in piracy on occasion. When the evidence seemed overwhelming, English men of war were dispatched to bring him back to London. Knowing what was to come, Kidd supposedly buried a vast treasure off the coast of New York on Gardiner's Island as an insurance policy and a bargaining tool. Unimpressed by likely fictitious tales of buried treasure, the British court ordered Kidd to the gallows. There, with a short drop and a sudden stop, his story ended and his legend began. So this guy basically invented the iconic buried treasure pirate stereotype. This most definitely earns him a spot on our list. Now the one you've all been waiting for, and yep, you guessed it, Edward Teach, also known as Blackbeard. Perhaps the most famous pirate ever, a claim that can likely be attributed as much to his catchy nickname as to his piratical prowess. Much to his credit, however, was the fact that he managed to mobilise a rather large fleet of pirate ships which he led into various assaults. Most notably, the flotilla under the leadership of Blackbeard managed to blockade the harbour at Charleston, SC for several days. During the blockade they captured several ships and took many hostages, all of which were eventually exchanged for various medicines required by his crew. Blackbeard terrorised the West Indies and the Atlantic coast for years at the helm of the Queen Anne's Revenge, before finally being bested by an English assault at the Battle of Ocracoke off the north coast of North Carolina. In his final moments, Blackbeard is said to have fought off a multitude of Englishmen before succumbing to his wounds, which totaled at least 5 gunshots and over 20 sabre cuts. This guy was a real deal, ladies and gentlemen. Well, there you have it folks, the world's most legendary pirate lords ever to have lived. It's great to be back, so if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and do be sure to simply subscribe to my channel, because the very best Sea of Thieves news and entertainment is back for good.